Leon's dinner tonight is an earthworm and some items from a frozen seafood medley. Treats from these packs were some of the first stuff I fed Leon when he came from the grocery store, too. And I still keep them in the freezer for him, for variety and because they're convenient. Watch him here. He goes high for the floating piece of squid and low at the same time for the clam meat that sank. He'll take his time and enjoy the whole meal. Spew some crumbs for the glass shrimp and little crabs. He'll stretch a little. Then go for the little clam in the shell. These frozen clams in the seafood pack are always open, so it's an easy meal for him. He's done with that, tosses the empty shell in the dishwasher, then goes on to the third course, the piece of squid. While Leon's eating, I also feed the little crabs in here. Can you imagine if we did that quick jerk back when the waiter brought our food to us at a restaurant? Big little crab smells the food the other little crabs got and obviously has to come over and inspect the situation. So I feed it fast too so it doesn't harass the other crabs too much. And the third little crab. The fourth tiniest crab is hiding somewhere, but I'm sure it's getting food. I'm always curious what Leon will do with an object or with food, particularly something new or something I haven't seen him eat or manipulate before. The seafood market had some huge clams in. These are cherry stone clams. For comparison, this small clam is the size and type that Leon can bust open and eat. These cherry stones are way too big for Leon to bust open and get into, or even lift. They're extremely heavy too. But I wanted to see what he would do with them, and how he handled them being in his aquarium. Let's see what he thinks of them. Watch Leon tell the other lobster he sees in the glass that these giant clams are his. He checks this one out closely. Of course, he has to smack my camera out of his face. Then he bulldozes the giant clam over to the edge of the aquarium. He doesn't just dump it and leave it though. It's more like he's carefully placing it there. I don't know if he's going to wait until it opens and try a sneak attack on it, or if he just likes it and sees it as a gift from me. I drop a second giant clam in for him, and he inspects it a bit, but doesn't do anything with it. It's almost like he knows he can't eat these huge things. and he thinks I'm messing with him again. So I drop him in another worm, something he can eat. I bought 5 of these giant clams, so I dropped the other 3 into the 125-gallon experimental aquarium. Listen to them hit the glass. That gives a good reference of how big and heavy these clams are. One of my early spring chores is to check on the Venus flytraps. The flytraps are all looking great coming out of dormancy. I wasn't expecting to see this though. A dead bat. I don't know if it was flying around and hit the house, or if it died from some sort of illness. After finding this poor bat, I started thinking about the colonies of bats up in the old mountain tunnels I've explored over the past few years. So I decided to take a play day and hike back up and check on them. We'll check back in on Leon and his new giant clams in a minute, and also take a look at a close call for one of the little crabs. As you might have noticed, we have a lot of mouths to feed around here, and we watch our budget, so we like finding offers and opportunities on essentials like gas, groceries, and restaurants. The Upside app helps us with this, whether we're local or traveling. Top earners on Upside are getting as much as $300 cash back every month. Just load the Upside app to your phone and start earning on essentials you buy anyway. There are over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app, ensuring that cash back is always just around the corner. It's real cash back, no confusing rewards, points, or credits. It's actual money you can transfer straight to your bank account. Top Upside earners are making as much as $300 a month. To find out how much you could earn, click on the link in the description to download Upside and use the code BRANDWOOD to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or even easier, scan the QR code here to claim this offer. Download the free Upside app and use the code BRANDWOOD and start earning on essentials you buy anyway. A fungal disease called white nose syndrome has had a huge impact on bat populations in the Appalachian Mountains over the past few years. Unfortunately, I find a lot of these mylar balloons when I'm free hiking in the forests. Happy birthday, say you'll be mine. People release them, and they all come down somewhere. It can take over 100 years for this balloon to decompose. These tunnels I'm going to visit are likely about 200 years old and dug during the North Georgia Gold Rush in the early 1820s. A good British friend laughs whenever I post something I think is old here in the United States. He says, "That's not bloody old." And he'll send me a picture of a 1,500-year-old house. A lot of storm damage since the last time I was here. The hike up the mountain is a good physical burn. I like that kind of pain. Here's the first tunnel. Wow, obviously some treasure hunters have found one of my secret tunnels. This is what the entrance of the tunnel looked like about 3 years ago, the last time I was here. So, some Indiana Jones has found it and has dug the entrance out, made themselves a more luxurious entrance. When I've been in there before, I've had to shimmy through this lower hole here. As I peek in, I immediately see something lay on the floor, too. This concerns me right away. So, I look around and listen and smell, too. Looks like it was just some explorer's overshirt. I just didn't want it to be full of bones. The rest of the tunnel looks empty though, and just like I remembered a few years ago. I've never seen any bats in this tunnel, and not many insects at all. Water drips from the ceiling. It may be too wet, or the old collapsed entrance may have been too small. Here are a few spider crickets and a snail. I looked all around, but no bats in here, unfortunately. It's kind of a scary thought that this tiny slash of light is my only way out. Of course, I had visions of some Deliverance-style hillbillies standing out there blocking my way out. I shake that thought off and shimmy out. And head on up the mountain to the next tunnel, where hopefully I'll find bats. Okay, here's the last tunnel. Creepy. This is already looking good for bats because I don't see many bugs. The first time I was here about 10 years ago, there were bats everywhere. Then last time I was here about 3 years ago, there were no bats. And this tunnel was absolutely filled with spider crickets and flying bugs. Obviously, if bats were in there, they would have eaten all the bugs. So the fact I'm not seeing many bugs today is a good sign. Ah, there they are, little flying dogs. Beautiful. I wonder if they know I'm here. Surely they do. Of course, I want to reach up and pet them. You probably do too. I give them their space though. Look at this. These are probably the quartz veins the old gold miners were digging for. And look at the spider crickets back here. The bats have pushed them back to their only safe space, the very back of the tunnel. They're everywhere back here, dropping into my hair and crawling all over the place. Old pick marks from some hard worker long ago, and probably a little shelf for his lunch. Tree roots growing down from the forest above. This huge spider has managed to be stealth in here. Until next time, bats, glad to see you back. I head toward the light, where my world is. What an amazing visit, though. As I freewoods hiked back down the mountain, I stumbled across this weird camp where somebody's been living in the woods, rent-free, maybe Sasquatch. I'll save this story for another episode. Back at home, Leon doesn't quite seem to know what to do with these huge clams. It's almost like he's treating them like his friends, or some new plants that he got, or two giant eggs he's waiting to hatch. This giant clam decides to make a break while Leon isn't looking. I know when Leon comes back over here, he's going to think I did something to it and blame it on me. Wait, Leon catches it. Then he goes to check on the other one. At least I'm off the hook now. He knows it wasn't me. Watch how he checks on it and tends to it. I'm not sure what he's doing here. After he leaves, the giant clam on the left continues digging. It's now completely buried with just a snorkel sticking up, or it's plumbing. Technically a siphon. Important bivalve stuff. Now the other clam makes a run for it while Leon's back there doing his yoga. Okay, Leon has caught this one in the act. I'm definitely curious what he's thinking right now. Watch this though. Rather than try and dig it up or grab the clam's plumbing, he helps the clam bury itself. The clam keeps digging. Leon seems absolutely fine with the new giant clams being here. Over in the 125-gallon rescue aquarium, the giant clams are alive and doing well too. The hermit crab has decided to go punk and grow its hair out. It's discovered one of the giant clams and is trying to find a way in. Good luck with that. Sometimes molts can trick you. When I lifted this shell out, it was heavy, like it was the whole crab. Fortunately, though, it was just an empty shell full of water. The crab is clean and healthy. Jet, the three-legged rescue kitten, has developed this one cute white whisker. When it falls out, we'll see if another white one grows in or if it'll grow back black. His Teonard mom Freya seems to be doing well too in her feral life, which I'm glad to see. And now, a day later, the giant clams in Leon's aquarium have completely buried themselves, except for their siphons. I woke up this morning and turned on the lights in Leon's room, and apparently this little crab was caught on the far right side of the aquarium, unexpectedly. It must have been roaming around stealth-like in the dark, exploring for food crumbs. Now Leon sees me and comes over to greet me, unfortunately, and this little crab is cornered here. I don't think Leon sees it yet because of his sand dune. The little crab goes over to the corner and tries to hide. This was my doing, unfortunately, and the little crab wasn't expecting me to turn on the light. So I took a net and guided it back over to the safety of its rock. I don't want Leon chasing it down, particularly in front of me. Leon is seriously fast when he wants to be. After a week and a half, I pulled some of the giant clams back up to see if they were still alive. Obviously, I don't want them rotting and decaying in here if they're dead, but they all seem to be doing great. And I checked the ones in Leon's aquarium too. Here is a smaller clam that escaped from Leon last month, doing well. The giant clam wants nothing to do with me or Leon and heads back underground. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and share it with other friends you think might like meeting Leon and following his journey. We'll see you soon.